Here we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for episode 38 now. I always have to look and make sure that I'm even on the right episode anymore. 38. I was going to do that like 35 more times, but I decided not to. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to get at, though. Big guest for us today, repeat guest, a man who is an avid Ninja Turtles fan, a man who drinks beer with red people on them, a man who Rolling Rock this time, a man who is arguably, God, he's got to be about the fourth or fifth funniest family member I have. And he can't do anything about what I'm saying now. Let's go ahead and bring him on, Tommy. Tommy, thank you for coming back. And immediately you will be roasted throughout the entire show. I hope you know that will be the case moving forward. Glad to have you back on. It's been probably a couple months now since we've had you on. Oh, yeah. Been drinking the Platinum Seltzer since then. Fantastic, by the way. Dangerous as well.
Very.
But delicious.
But very delicious. So we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the different streaming services, what's the best, what may be the worst at this point in time before we get into some wacky questions. Rod, you probably haven't looked at them yet, so these questions will be enjoyable for you on the spot. But let's go ahead and kick off our intro video, and then we'll get right into it.
If I give you a beer and you didn't finish it right on the spot, like we'd have
You're kind of slaughter them all because now I know they're plotting against me, them motherfuckers. I'm on to you.
That was the most disgusting moment of Rod's life.
Next question.
There was a follow-up about a finishing move, but I'm not so sure I want to ask that. Cheers. So, Tom, you've actually been an integral part of our intro video, but sadly, your time at the end where we all cheers is overshadowed by the fact that Rod has 4 beers in his hand. So unfortunately, some of your stardom has been taken away from you by this man here. And that's simply because he's a booze bag, and there's really nothing we can do about it.
You can't hide the talent, you know. You
can't. I heard you didn't drink those all in one night. It was over a period of time.
He saved the cans to look cooler,
right?
Is that true, Rod? The allegations have come out that you are, in fact, not a booze bag. Good. However, you are a poser because you take empty cans that you previously had and put them on the show.
Listen, I got a picture of a few towers that me and old Matty Ice have made in the old apartment that confirms my validity.
So we did have a high top island, like seating area on our island at the old apartment, and we would create towers, not just the two of us. However, I do want to point that out. There was help from both significant others at times, primarily you and I. However, there have been other contributions made to said towers, but they would in fact touch the ceiling by the time we were done with them. So to the point where we'd have to crush one to make it fit into the top part of the tower. And those were simpler times.
What was usually the drink of choice when you're making a tower? What can you be like? I'm going to crush this tower because we're drinking this tonight.
I like to call her Old Faithful. She goes by many names. However, Old Faithful seems to be the one that I've been choosing lately. And it's simply for this reason. I know I can put down about 50 of these and not be drunk. So we used to play, I don't know if you've ever played this in your lifetime. We used to play Burial Kart. Still do, actually. That is still a staple in these households. So you play Mario Kart, okay? you set a number of races. Typically, we play 4 races, and you set a number of beers you have to drink within that amount of races. So if you're playing against Rod, it's typically 4 beers, 4 races. So beer per race. You can't drink and drive. So anytime you are drinking, you cannot go forward at all. You have to be parked essentially before you can start drinking.
Right,
Then you can hop. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're shit faced by like the second round of playing this, but
responsible.
but right.
Yeah.
These are not actual vehicles. These are virtual vehicles. Nobody was harmed in the making of these games.
So some turtles might have been though, because we threw a lot of turtles.
Yeah. So within 4 races took about what, 20 minutes maybe?
Give or take.
So probably within 40 minutes, you're about 6 to 8 beers deep, and the tower stacks rather quickly. By the way, when you're playing that kind of game, but
your generation is so I don't know. You guys are so much more safer because we would play that game, but we'd call it drunk Mario Kart or driving drunk. Get on Mario Kart and start driving, but you drink the whole way through. You guys are a lot more responsible.
Well,
you guys are way more responsible.
Yeah,
so.
well, naturally
You've learned.
It's not like back in the day. You hear stories from your parents and everything where it's like, oh yeah, the games we used to play, and it's and some. I mean,
let me play this stick real quick.
or even the pranks they would play on each other.
So there is a drinking game up here that's very common at a lot of the microbreweries. It's called Hammerschlager. You ever play Hammerschlager?
Maybe it's something similar. Yeah.
So I had to explain to my wife. We went to a brewery last weekend, and we walked up, and there's this big, like, wood stump, and there's a bunch of nails in it. And she's like, "What the heck is this for?" Explained it to her that each person gets a hand. You each get a nail, and you get one hit every time it's your turn. You keep passing until the first person's nail goes in. She's like, "Well, then what do you win?" I was like, "You get to drink your beer. Like, that's what you get to win." But
so we're not as sophisticated.
Time.
We're not as sophisticated as you are, because around these parts it's just called stump.
Yeah. we call it stump, and you have to flip the hammer before you hit it.
Oh, okay.
And however you catch it on the flip is how you have to hit the nail, and you try to hit everyone else's nail down. But we had a little twist to it. We put something in the middle. We call it the tip. All right. If you hit the tip, if you sink it in one hit, everyone else has to shotgun a beer. But if you nick it or anything and don't sink it, you have to shotgun a beer.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you have become
doing it right.
That's right.
I'm sure you've become familiar with this when you're in smaller towns like where we've been at recently, especially. I mean, where you're at, Tom, is it's like it's one of those everybody knows everybody kind of things. Take your shoes off when you come in. Everybody's mama knows everybody's mama kind of situation. You guys all go bear hunting and shit like that together. And so these games, how many of these games have you learned since you've been there?
Almost all of them.
Exactly. Bingo. Yeah. So small town USA is known for some wild shit.
That's true.
So before we get too deep into our discussions, I want to knock out our couple things. Right now we are still running. So the beauty of these now, Tom, I know you went through this. Rod and I went through this also. You put it in order with Bonfire, and they wouldn't start printing shirts till like 2 weeks later. So now Bonfire is doing this really cool thing where everything's made to order. Get the old Gusty Town Bears shirt on there. And can we let me get through this first, and then we'll.
All right. I know where you're going.
So everything's made to order now. So as soon as you put the order in, they'll start printing your shirt and get it shipped out. We've had a few different shirts since we last had you on. We do have our military recognition shirt. So front side, nice little Captain America style looking thing here. We've got our soldier on the back side. We stand with you with our hashtag IOM, as well as our CBD Brothers USA logo on there. Especially with them, they're very much a military friendly company. Steve A and Steve. Now I know. So we got Vegan Steve and we got Sexy Steve. That's how they identify as the two. Vegan Steve, I know for sure was ex-military. I'm not sure if Sexy Steve was. I believe he did.
I believe so. Yeah.
So again, very much a military friendly company. We also have our nice little "Be an Idiot, Be Grateful." So one thing that we've preached throughout our entire show is being humble, what that means, and all the opportunities that you've been given have come probably from somewhere else other than your own. I know us personally, we can say that very, very much so with dealing with the CBD Brothers USA and some of the different little sponsorships. DJ Sweat, our manager, has been helping us out tremendously. We got a couple big guests rolling through here within the next month or so. So we're gonna have something going on here. I want to give a shout out to Jenny. So this is my peace offering. We'll get you on the show. I just don't know when yet. Get off my ass about it. All right. But her concept for a shirt was our promotion that we run with Anchor, the I Am the Horn promotion. So we've got our IOM logo, Idiots on a Mic logo with this isn't the Rod Bod, so this may or may not be me holding this megaphone shouting I am the horn. However, I want to point out we do in fact still have the Rod Bod t-shirt. Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
That
That's
ain't
absolutely beautiful.
That ain't hardly a gut there though either,
Yeah,
like
if
that's
that
a
doesn't
respectable
say
body.
that doesn't say true blue-blooded American, I don't know what does. All right.
But hey, one thing's for sure, that's not your average daddy we got going on. So I did some traveling with Rick, with our manager recently, and he thinks it's hilarious to call me daddy in public, and I do not in any way find that comical. And it's not just the fact that he calls me daddy, it's the fact that he says it like this: daddy, what are we doing, daddy? And it's rather embarrassing. And you know what? We will get him back. We'll have him on the show again. There are his guests, so I'd like him to be a part of those episodes that we do have. So there is payback coming. I hope he's listening currently. Actually, I hope he's not listening currently, because that way I will be able to roast him when the time comes. I also want to talk about our CBDBrothersUSA.com friends. We're still running our promotion, Idiots on Mic. They haven't told us otherwise, so if it doesn't work,
right. Let's get it.
Let us know. We'll talk to them. However, 25% off and free shipping sounds like a pretty fucking sweet deal when you're talking about not having any more pain in terms of inflammation, not having any more pets being anxious when it comes to the little droplets you can put in their food. Now, there's recommended doses, but sometimes with my dog, maybe one or two extra little pinches might not be too bad.
You're over there making trank darts out of these things.
No. You just see, I'm just blow darting them from across. Yeah, go to sleep. I'm like Iron Man in which one is that? Avengers 2, where he's just beating the piss out of the hall. Go to sleep. However, I mean, they've got a fantastic product. I've got the salve, I've got the tinctures, and in terms of inflammation, especially. I've had this weird jacked up thing going on my shoulder. Take some of that stuff. Now we talk about this is a long-term process. This is something that you got to do regularly. This isn't just that overnight. And
it don't happen overnight, baby.
That's exactly right. Good things come to those who wait. And when you start doing those pills that, okay, they happen a little more rapidly, the anti-inflammatories and things like that, okay, that's great. They happen more rapidly. But what they're doing long-term to you is much more harmful than what this CBD is going to be. 100% hemp product. No THC. No THC. We're not trying to get you guys high.
That's right.
Sorry about it. Hey, when it's legal here in Ohio, we might be having another conversation, okay?
Just make sure that promotion's still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if that's still going on then, we're going to be doing all right.
We're going to be selling out, baby.
Quick moment here with the comments. First of all, thanks, Bellboo, for checking in again. Appreciate you coming back, watching. We love that shit. Second of all, someone commented a stock market drinking game. I think that's brilliant. You throw a penny stock that sells on the weekends up on the TV. You take a stance. If it goes up, you drink. If it goes down, you drink. You decide, who does what. Woo.
And what's better than basing your entire night on what the stock market is going to do? Wild times, baby. Now, I don't know. Me personally, I don't know whether it's a penny stock or not. I don't know if I've ever been rich enough to pay attention to the stock market to play a game like this. However, I am a little intrigued, and I like the fact that there is absolutely no basis to how.
Oh, he's gone.
Yes. Frozen.
No, we're not doing this shit. No, we're not doing this shit again. We're not doing this shit again. So let's talk about your shirt, okay? Our Gusty Town Bears.
Yeah.
Rod, now, we all share a common interest in this because, Rod, at one point, this was your Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, franchise quarterback, mind you, as well.
Ride or die with Andy Dalton, baby. Ride or die.
To where, and that seems to be what we're doing right now. This is a ride or die situation because after this year, we cannot pay our defense. Khalil Mack probably gone.
Yep. Keem Hicks gone.
Eddie
Fuller's
Jackson,
already gone.
Fuller's already gone, and they replaced him with
True Font.
Not the same, not transitional.
No.
Listen. Y'all took Andy Dalton, and then when you guys get rid of your defense, they can come to Cincinnati. We'll give you some. You guys can get AJ Green, Geno Atkins, some of our old players who ain't producing, and we'll just switch them out. It'll work out great. You guys can overpay them, and it'll work out.
Well,
Chicago,
that's exactly
Cincinnati Junior.
Chicago, we've seen you make this mistake once, and now it's our turn. and I mean, first of all, the NFL as a whole is going to be vastly different next year as it was this year with all the different signings. To me, I believe it's absolute bullshit that they even offered what was claimed they offered for Russell Wilson. I think that was just a way to ease the pain of we know we're going to sign Andy Dalton, so let's just get it done.
Was he really the next best thing?
No.
Hey, Russell Wilson's not available anymore. Who's next? Andy Dalton's on my.
Hey, Andy Dalton's going to get you to a nice 8 because they just proved the 17th game, so they're going to get you to a nice 8-9, maybe 9-8 record. All right, you got to. He'll get you to the wild
into the
card.
Playoffs this year.
He'll get you to the playoffs. You'll understand he's not the franchise quarterback, and you have a shitty draft pick. That's the Andy guarantee right there.
Aaron Rodgers is going to come to Chicago next year after he's pissed off with Green Bay enough to. Not that I want him.
That would vastly change your mind about Aaron Rodgers if he came to play for the Bears after the fact.
What about when he lives on the north side and he starts living near Wrigleyville and
smoking pole?
Yep.
I know what you're getting at here. Yeah. I know.
All right.
He's giving out mustache rides and
Yeah.
so Mr.
here
Sweat
we go.
himself has chimed in.
Oh.
Let's go ahead and absolutely tear apart what the Cowboys are in his organization. So let's talk about this. Andy Dalton plays for the Cowboys, gets slaughtered in the dome piece, and what do? They step over his half-living corpse, and nobody helps him up. That's what Jerry Jones has created as an organization down there in Dallas.
You know what, Matt? We should have known he was a Cowboys fan. He's the only one old enough to remember when they were good.
Hey, leave him alone. He still has his Troy Aikman and Emmett Smith jersey.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry,
So he's probably already gone now. He's out. He closed it. So and
I'm coming for you, DJ Sweat. Taking over my long, outpacing me in the last podcast. I don't appreciate that. Tonight, I already told these guys we're going to be here for 3, maybe even 4 hours.
No. We'll leave it up if you want to talk.
That's fine.
You can just talk into it.
See, I really don't.
Oh, come on.
Okay. He's just trying to smooth talk me. So, DJ Sweat, since you are listening, we would like to put together some sort of marathon episode one day. We don't know when that's going to be yet. We got to, schedules are vastly different nowadays, but we would like to run a marathon episode. I think that would be the funnest shit we've ever done, to where we can pull multiple people on in one day. Obviously going to have to be a weekend to where we can do something like that.
Absolutely.
But we'll get that figured out on the back end. The gears are already turning in his head on who can get on, I'm sure. Only if Tommy's on board.
You're just trying to butter me up.
Well, that's what salespeople do, and I know for a fact that's the same shit you would pull.
Probably.
Can we talk about how I saw pictures on his Facebook of, he took pictures acting like a diva out there, and he takes a picture of old Matty out there actually teaching people, how to do shit. And
I would like our manager to know that the opinions of Rod do not reflect the opinions of everybody within this episode. But yeah, I'm excited. Damian Williams just got signed. The Bengals are still going to be trash because they haven't really touched anybody so far.
Okay. You're the Bears. Calm down. You're the Bears. Got more balls than I do. I wouldn't be standing on that thing.
We were on the building still.
Nope. Wouldn't be staying on that building.
So Tommy, are you afraid of heights? Are you a guy that has experienced fear from heights? Okay.
So
didn't know you were all pussies. Wait.
Working with my dad put me in that way.
See, working with my dad took me out of that way because I had to learn very quickly that I cannot be afraid of heights while working with that man. Because he'll scare the shit out of you. Sorry, I had to get my. I was wondering why this episode was so fuzzy. I didn't have my. Hey, wait a minute! I can't see Tommy anymore. I just see Rod. That's weird. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about streaming services. What's going on with streaming services? We are in a day and age where streaming services are a surplus. You can't go. I can't wear these right now. I already went past it. Streaming services are everywhere you turn. I can't. Jenny, what are you doing?
It's specific. It's cotton balls. I can't touch them. I can't be around them. I don't want to talk about it right now because then I'll start throwing up. But.
So hold on. So have you ever seen the movie Elf?
Yeah.
So when he's eating the cotton balls, that just like fucking weirds you out?
Yeah. No, it's just like they don't scare me. I just can't touch them. Like it's that feel of them. Funny thing is, my father-in-law is the same way. That we figured this out like not too long ago, and he brought it up, and I was like, I'm the same way. There's something about that touch to him. It's just I just cringed right now. I think I'm gonna go puke. Ugh.
So there's only 2 of you in the world, all right? Other than that, you are alone.
I think your desire to puke might be the copious amounts of alcohol we watched you drink beforehand. So by the way, what's the beer of choice that you got going on there?
This is just what's in my fridge.
Oh, Rolling Rock. Oh, okay. Pretty unique. Wow.
Isn't it your college beer?
No, I just can't. Yeah. So, hey.
I brought it to a little get together last weekend with some friends. It was the first beer to, people were digging in there. They're like, hey, what's he got over there? Rolling Rock? That's new. To Wisconsin.
So they've been.
My ears are clean. That's a different thing. I don't have to touch it. It just goes in my ear.
But your ear has to
So
touch it. How do you think your ear feels about that?
Yeah. Can we talk about that? So I have my old college roommate now, and this apparently is not uncommon. My old college roommate was afraid of heights. He's afraid of heights, but he wants to go skydiving. That's a thing.
I also want to do that, and I don't like heights.
Can somebody please explain that phenomenon to me? Because I don't.
You don't have a reference. Like when you're standing on something and you're high up, you're like, oh, I could fall. Well, you're falling.
But you have to stand on the plane that you're going to jump out of. So
that part will be terrifying. Yes, yes. But you have a parachute. When you're on a ladder or you're on whatever you guys are on up there at the top, you're like, oh, I could fall and die,
Yeah, so you guys may not know, and you probably can't tell by the picture of Mr. DJ Sweat down here. We are actually related. That is, in fact, my uncle. So Aunt Sherry and Uncle Rick. You guys probably can't tell that from the photograph. There's relation there. So this is apparently I would argue that this phenomenon is a pandemic. Now, Tommy, is there anything that you wanted to do at heights despite being afraid of heights? Are you a roller coaster guy?
Oh yeah, love roller coasters.
See, I don't understand that. See, I'm not a roller coaster guy.
No,
and I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm not a roller coaster guy.
It's been a long time since I've been on a roller coaster, though. It's honestly been probably the last time I went to Six Flags when I lived back home.
And by the way, Six Flags, phenomenal. They have I have been on roller coasters, the Superman ride there, V2 vertical velocity they call it, where it's basically just like this big up and down ride. I've been on them before. Not a fan.
Have you been in Universal and done the Hulk ride? That is pretty sweet.
No, but I've been to Disney and I've done the Avatar ride.
I have not done that.
It's not a tall ride by any means. It's all like it's all 3D and shit, but that's a story for another time. That's the beauty of the job that I get to do. Let's tunnel way back to what we were starting to discuss about streaming services. So for me personally, and this is just, it may be recency bias just because I've just gotten it, but I don't know currently that there's
Yeah, he froze again. All right, what you got? We were planning for this.
HBO Max. Shut the fuck up.
Tommy, start thinking. He's going to break up soon. So
my gosh,
you got it, right?
Is there a better streaming service than HBO Max right now? That has to be my favorite.
Mine too. You
So,
can't beat it.
and especially now because of what's taking place with Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers has made a deal with HBO Max. Anytime they release a movie in theaters, they're also releasing it on HBO Max. Tom and Jerry, Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, which was phenomenal, by the way. Tommy, I don't know if you've seen it yet. You're not as big of a superhero guy as we are.
I'm a Batman guy, and I think that's frowned upon here, maybe.
Yeah, shut up. We don't like you. I personally, so they make Superman to be an absolute stud.
Christian Bale, Batman. That's
it, and I can respect that. I really can. However, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at what it is in Batman as a whole, I can respect that he's got no powers and he's rich and everything. But then you start talking about Iron Man and what he's capable of, who's apparently much smarter because he made actual machinery, whereas everything is made for Batman. So then there's a lot of debate.
Batman's more of like a detective than he is like a, what I mean? Like you don't see Tony Stark like, oh, putting this and this together. No, like he just makes shit and does cool shit. But Batman's like that, like true crime, like sort of vibe to it. So I mean, I get it.
And I get it. And I can respect that. And this is a fantastic question. How long will that last in terms of the Warner Brothers pairing with HBO Max? I don't know that they're going to see better success than what they're going to see. Anybody can watch it in home, and you're spending $16 a month. And here's the beauty. It's month to month. You don't have to – this isn't a year-long subscription that you have to sign up for. It's month to month. So if there's a movie coming out that month that you know is going to be out on HBO Max – you pay the $16 for that month, and you watch that movie, and it's that alone is one ticket to the movie theater. Now I can be in the comfort of my own home, get out the popcorn, drink a couple drinks, and not spend an arm and a leg to do it. I mean, there's no question what I'm going to choose in that regard.
To go back to it, I'm more of a Homelander guy than a Batman guy.
You and us both, buddy.
Now, we didn't have you on for the conversation about the boys, did we?
I don't think so, but you guys got me on to the boys. Like I didn't know anything about it until I listened to you guys. So
it's good shit.
Fantastic show. 2 seasons in, there is a lot to unfold there. Cannot wait for what the 3rd season is going to be like. And is there something in the comments that has piqued your interest?
My sister texted me and she said, "You have." Let me read it verbatim. Why are they asking you about streaming? You literally scam off everybody else, which is 100% true.
And that's the beauty of streaming too. So let's talk about it. I buy a movie ticket. I can't give you that ticket to go back to see the same movie. But here we can all enjoy this, split the cost. That doesn't seem like the situation you're in. You're not splitting the cost yet.
No. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for Netflix. Thank you, Jenny and Brad, for Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. And thank you, my buddy Jeff, for HBO.
Thank you.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, good. What you got, Tommy? Give me something good. Give me something good.
You got to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah? Is it good?
Show.
Really?
Start on season 5. 1 to 4, it's good, but it's not season 5 worthy.
Yeah.
But, there he is.
All right. I'll have to take a look at that.
So Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm towards the end of season 2, I believe. It's something you like. It's a time killer.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a Friends. It's a New Girl.
Season 5 and newer is hilarious. It's he's much more. He doesn't care. More F-bombs. He's just an idiot. Like same situations we get into, and then you're like, yeah, I've always wanted to say that, but he's actually saying it. So it's pretty funny.
So, and that's exactly why I enjoy it, because it's not like these over the top situations that you see in a lot of sitcoms and things like that. It's very everyday things where it's like somebody cut him off and gave him the finger, and like the entire episode is basically revolves around that situation, and it just kind of snowballs into a couple other things. Every episode's like that. However, it's something you could pick up at any given time and continue to watch it. And that's something I appreciate about it. Now, Tom, one thing I want to ask you. I don't know if you were a big Tom and Jerry fan. Did you watch the movie?
Nope. I used to watch
Save
it.
yourself some time.
It's not good.
It's okay, but it's not enough Tom and Jerry. They built a storyline around it, and they kind of focus more on the storyline.
I'm waiting for my sister to get Boomerang, that streaming service, so I could steal that from them. Because Jenny, the boys need to watch old Looney Tune cartoons and the old Tom and Jerry's. So you guys should probably subscribe to that, and then when you visit next, you should sign into it on my TV, and then I'll have it for a while.
Do they have Ed, Ed, and Eddie on that?
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, I would think they do. I like
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo, Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Powerpuff Girls.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. All right, Jenny, it's on you now.
Yeah.
This is definitely a you thing. Maybe I'll buy it, eventually, but you get it. I'll try it out. I'll see if I like it.
You're willing to be the guinea pig.
For sure.
Fantastic of you to be able to do something like that.
I'm a real guy.
So Rod, you have not experienced the HBO Max yet.
No.
I highly recommend it. Is there one in particular that you enjoy now? See, I've almost gotten entirely away from Netflix. I need to watch Peaky Blinders. That was a Rick Lock recommendation, so I've heard fantastic things about Peaky Blinders. So there are shows still on Netflix that I think are worth watching, but is there a service in particular that you watch? You're a Netflix guy, right?
Yeah, most of the time, me and the wife, we just watch Netflix. I mean, they have a lot of originals. So I don't know how Netflix is still in business, but with how much money they're shelling out for some of these shows and stuff like that. But
they just raised their prices monthly.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not paying for it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I love it.
Fucking scammers everywhere, man.
I will say this. I think the worst streaming service has to be Hulu sucks.
I do not enjoy Hulu.
Hulu sucks.
The only time Hulu is available or is worthwhile is football season.
When you have Hulu TV.
Yeah, and that's like $60 a month.
Yeah, but other than that, it's trash.
So for Christmas, I got my father a home brewing kit.
Oh.
The beer is ready, boys. Let's take that trip. Let's go get some Steel Brewing Company beers and go ahead and suck them things down. Maybe not. We don't know what the first batch is going to taste like.
It's going to blind you. He's got a still out back.
I'm ready for it. I almost got him labels for those bottles that he's got, but I want to see how the first batch goes because they were going to be idiots on a mic labels, and I'm not entirely sure if the first batch was going to be worth putting the idiots on a mic logo on it. So let's see how that first one goes.
Which is saying how bad you think the beer could potentially be.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you just got to follow instructions, so we'll see what happens.
You know what? Papa Steel's got that, that rustic, old man kind of vibe. I think he got it. He got it. He can make some good beer,
Ideally. Tommy, you've experienced the Chinese whiskey. Is there anything worse than that? Would you go ahead and try the Steel Company Brewing first batch of beers?
I'll probably have the Chinese whiskey on hand, so I've got something to wash it down with. So for there, is there such a thing as bad beer? Yes, there is. It's not. This is a grade A American-made beer here. If it's anything like this, I will be buying this thing in droves, just by the truckload. But we'll see how the first one goes. We just don't know yet. So Rod, is there
is there anything in particular that you're watching on Netflix that you would like to point out for the people?
Well, I mean, of course, you got New Girl, which is
so
that's fantastic.
That's you are what 9 times deep on watching New Girl?
Oh, absolutely. It's we just play it in the background. Play in the background. Then if I ever need to occupy the wife, I just turn on Gilmore Girls. She'll watch that. If they ever take that off of there, me and Netflix, we got problems. All right.
See, so other
that's
than
a close
Curb,
second for me. Like
Netflix
is for sure.
It's tough, and it is tough. I see personally now that Marvel's putting a bunch of stuff on Disney. Second and third are a real struggle for me because what Disney's starting to do, they did WandaVision, started out pretty rough, got fantastic towards the end. Didn't really care for the way it ended, but as a show as a whole, I really enjoyed it. And on top of that, every Friday they've been airing episodes for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Episode 2 comes out this Friday, and episode 1 was pretty phenomenal, pretty stellar. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. Captain America as a whole is kind of up in the air. They intend to pass the torch with Falcon. You got demons over there, Tom.
What?
I thought that was coming from you, buddy.
Oh no!
The dog. I gotcha. I was like, what are you talking about? It's that time of the night.
Sounds like they're devouring a dead body over there.
They might be.
Yeah. So, have you taught them to hunt bears, or does that just come naturally?
No, they're really good at watching for, I say, our yard, but if something comes by like on the land here, they right up to the window, they can like smell it before they know, and usually it's deer or turkey, and they'll start barking. So no bears yet.
No bears yet. Give it time.
Right.
So good recommendations. My recommendation, Rick touched on it, DC's Titans on HBO Max. It's kind of a gritty DC show. It's Teen Titans essentially, but they're a little bit older. They're kind of further along in the storyline. However, violent. It's kind of a violent show. So that's something I would recommend if you like what DC's done with their shows. If you like, it's not quite to what The Boys is on Amazon. Now, Amazon, they've got, what is it, Jack Ryan.
Yep.
Jack Ryan. They've got The Boys,
yep.
And then everything else is kind of a crapshoot, honestly.
Pretty much anything else you have to pay for. It's like,
yeah.
There's some gems on Netflix. If you're looking for, I'm gonna throw out a couple of shows that I recently watched that are good. So
here we go.
If you've ever watched The Last Chance U, great show.
I've heard that's fantastic. I heard
the latest season is basketball. Football, but
yeah.
being a JUCO guy, it hits home. Stranger Things, loved it.
I could see it. I didn't get into it.
First season was great. Second season took too long to take off, and I was like, "This sucks."
Mindhunter.
Now
great.
I thought you also. Let me try to figure that out. Yeah, I thought you also said that was good.
Mindhunter.
Yeah. What was the show you watched?
Okay, well, I've watched a lot of shows, so I mean.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was mine. Anyways, go on.
Ozark. That was a good one.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
The Making a Murderer, because that's exactly like our town here. And then Queen's Gambit. Total Loop.
Yeah.
One? So good.
Yes. And you're like, this show's about chess. Why the fuck would I watch this? And then you watch it, and you're like, what a fantastic, what a beautiful storyline they weave.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
what a fantastic storyline they weave throughout that. Like, now, I'll put out a little disclaimer that there are some spoilers there, but the fact that she's like addicted to drugs early on, you're like, and she has to be good at chess. Fantastic. Everybody needs to watch it. That's a good one.
Those damn Russians. Those Russians, man. You can't get away from them.
Anyone else just slowly start chanting USA when she won? Like, is that?
Oh yeah. I watched the last episode at so I get up in the mornings and I've been doing all my workouts have been at home primarily. So I had some dumbbells in the living room and I'm watching it and I'm just like, the pump was just so much more like fucking USA baby. That's a pretty good list. I've heard a lot of good things about the shows that you pointed out there. I'm trying to think in terms of HBO Max. True Detective, I know it's an older show now. True Detective, especially season 1.
The first season it just blows away. The other seasons suck. If you didn't watch the other seasons, you're not missing anything compared to the first season. Season
2, so we talked about this at work. Season 2, having Vince Vaughn as kind of a gangster is like, so we were kind of explaining it, and Mike reminded me that he's also the same guy in Wedding Crashers where the kid looks at him and he goes, "Make me a bicycle, clown." So I can't unsee that when I see Vince Vaughn as an actor. Not that, I mean, listen, he can do some serious stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think this role was a little over the top in terms of what he needed to be capable of and the role that he took on.
Spoiler alert, like Colin Farrell didn't want that ginger to be his kid.
That's the only thing he wanted.
Oh, I must have been watching the wrong show.
You were on IHateMyStepKid.com. No, and Colin Farrell, I think, knocked it out of the park. I really do. I think Colin Farrell's character had this internal struggle that he was dealing with violence and trying to do the right thing to kind of show his kid. Because there's a lot of speculation early on in the show. Spoilers again. However, I think his character was phenomenal. I liked Rachel McAdams' character. You know, it was kind of hit or miss here and there. I think it was very dramatic at times, but overall, in terms of the first season compared to the second season, like if they had done the first season as like the third season instead, you would invest in it all the way. But after watching that with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson early on, and then going from that past it, it's tough to do.
Yeah, they peaked too early, and then it's like, all right, well, how do we make it better than the first one? It's like, you're not. You can't. Like, I better see Samuel L. Jackson in the fourth one. I'll watch it. Him, and then Rick's comment there with Nicolas Cage. Like, we could get some going here. We should probably write a letter. We need to write a letter. True Detective.
So Nicolas Cage is probably accepting letters. Like, hey, I think you should do this role. He's just
mailbox is wide open. Auto response. Yes, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's like in Bruce Almighty when he just hits all to everybody's prayers. He may be doing that kind of situation. We may see a season 4 with Nicolas Cage and hopefully Samuel L. Jackson, as you recommended, but we just don't know at this point. We just don't know. All right,
like
let me throw a couple questions. Let me throw a couple questions at you guys, so we can say that we asked a couple questions on the show. That's kind of what
we've only gotten to one, so
kind of what the show's about. I don't have any lead in for this question. I don't know how else to ask it. It is the first question I have on my list.
I didn't know the beer.
Rod, your face has no surprise yet, so you probably skimmed over this question if I had to guess.
I didn't even read them this time around, bud.
Okay, here's my question Here's my question to you. Tommy clearly has, and that's why he's going to get another beer. So my question to you, what would you do if you got caught masturbating by your roommate, maid, or someone who isn't your spouse?
First step: initially lock eyes with that person.
Absolutely.
Make it as awkward as possible.
So I know I asked this question because even though I put in there someone other than your spouse, I know
experience. Try to get.
I know. No. I have this outstanding fear when I'm in hotels that somebody's just gonna walk in on me. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, and then just in the case of the question I'm asking about,
especially when you're masturbating.
If you're in a hotel room and you're masturbating, so I asked this question. So I asked this question because Rod and I actually lived together for 2 years, and my gut instinct was he was going to refer to this like thinking in terms of us living together for the 2 years. So I don't like that you went right to immediately lock eyes and make eye contact, because that would have been me in that particular scenario.
Listen, if someone walks in on you and they don't immediately close the door and walk out, I mean, you got to lock eyes and be like, hey, you going to help or get out?
Yeah, it's not going to jerk itself.
Yeah. Take a lot of stress off
Just
me.
real quick, I'm going to give you two options here. Real quick, I'm going to give you two options. Option number one, you can just get on out of here. And option number two, we can stick around and see where this thing goes.
Yeah, immediately make them the weirdo. Like, I'm not weird for doing this. You're weird for walking in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prevent prostate cancer. What are you doing?
They said you'd go blind, but so far nothing. I can still see.
So hey, in the wise words of Mr. DJ Sweat here, he already pointed out he's older and wiser. Ain't nothing wrong with a woodchuck chucking wood in private.
DJ Sweat, can I get your number so I can have you talk to my wife?
Hey, not frowned upon. You get walked in on. Wow, you got a different situation on your hands, don't you? Don't you? Yeah. So I'm gonna ask this, and I know. I'm thinking it's probably what was it called? Mr. Sweat, I know you're listening. If you want to remind the people of what kind of bourbon you bought the other day, because if I had to guess, you might be drinking a sip right now. If you're gonna give Tommy your number so that you guys can do the old Dutch rudder situation. Angel's Envy, I think it's called. By the way, I got some whiskey from yours truly, Matthew McConaughey, being the spokesperson for Wild Turkey. Had to get some Wild Turkey Long Branch, it's called. It's a small batch. That thing goes down like gasoline. But it's good. It's good, but she's a little rough on the entry. Is there a particular whiskey that you usually have, Tom? Rod, I know you're Rod. You're a gentleman Jack guy.
We talked about this a little bit last time, so I like Honey Jack. Is a big one for me.
By the way, BSB never reached out to us.
Those bastards! I'd never drinking them again. That's a lie.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Maybe I'll bring that to the wedding instead of some Chinese whiskey.
Yeah, I listen. If I had a preference between the two,
I'll have 2 flasks. You decide.
Yeah, you're gonna have 2 flasks. They're gonna be exactly just plain silver flasks. Both of them exactly the same. And you're gonna say, "Have a little bit of this." Oh God, it's Chinese whiskey. Okay, now have a little bit of this. Oh my God, it's also Chinese whiskey.
As it's burning through the flask.
This is actually late. I go to grab it out of your hand and it's like real heavy because it has to be made out of lead to actually absorb all the radioactive material that is within the Chinese whiskey.
Oof.
2 stacks in a can, by the way. Tried that for the first time this week, and it's basically a double shot of whiskey in a can. I do not recommend doing that ever again. It was fucking disgusting.
Do they just sell that at gas stations? That sounds like really dangerous.
Well, if you go to a wine and spirits store in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you are bound to apparently find 2 stacks in a can, which it's right up at the register. It's only like $4. You drink it and you understand, 1, why it's $4, and 2, why they're trying to get rid of it.
Is this on the same level as like the old Four Locos?
Ooh.
No. It's the can's only like this
college.
big. Yeah. The can's only like this big, okay? And
So it's like a 5-hour energy. That's
essentially it just got a double shot of whiskey in it. I don't know. It's like a weird like malt liquor whiskey deal going on in it. It was not good. Hey,
it was not good.
But like the champions that we are, me and Mr. Sweat went ahead, sucked them things down, had a couple cream ales, called it a day.
Beautiful. Wouldn't expect none less.
That's what we do. That's what we do. That's how we get work done around here. All right, let me ask my next question for you. Rod, you're reading the questions right now, aren't you, son of a bitch?
No, I have no question.
Starting your, by the way, he hasn't read these at all. Let's go to question number 2. What would you do if you were a god? What would you be the god of?
God of the beers.
God of the beers. Hey.
Always flowing.
Ooh, I like that. What if so? This is what your shrine would be up at weddings, to where it's like we're actually having a dry wedding, but the god of the beers is here, and then it's literally just all these taps just show up,
like all these blowing out of my fingers.
Yeah,
everyone drink.
This right here, this is a IPA. This here is a.
You don't want to know what the other hose is for.
Oh, if you drink out of this one,
it's Bush Light.
Oh, I see what you did there. Piss water,
because it's piss.
Very fun. Wow, clever, very clever. What about you?
Yeah. Tommy took it exactly what I was going for. Yeah, son of a bitch.
So I think for me, and this is my people, and I want to give them something to hope for. It would be God of the Gingers, okay? God of the Gingers. And essentially what I would do is I would give them, I mean, let's look at Andy Dalton. I would be God of the Gingers for Andy Dalton. Look at the situation he's in. I would give 2 gingers a year. Obviously, the population is very small, so that's still like 20% of the ginger population. Like 2 gingers a year, some sort of gift like what Andy Dalton has, and they just become very successful.
Your God is a lie.
Bullshit. Nothing good comes from this.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna.
You're just trying to make money.
Nobody's gonna believe in this. Well, I mean, if I can make money off of it, I'm not going to hate that idea at all.
I thought you were going to go ahead and be the sun god. Just add a little irony to it,
So, no. If anything, I would be like the moon god, because I did like I'm just in opposition of what the sun god is, and I don't want any part of it. So let's go ahead and be the moon god, and I can give people a tan. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, okay, so I can just perpetually hate myself. Yeah. That's what I can do. That's what I can do. All these powers.
Give.
Yeah. That seems like a real cursed item situation. Yeah. Like, I could have these tennis shoes that make me run really fast. However, I can't stop running kind of situation. That's what being the sun god would be like to me. All right, let me ask one more question here. Let's see. I want to know this question in terms of in terms of Rod. So I'd like to think I like to think this is the situation we're in. What would you do if your best friend told you he or she killed someone?
All right. My first question is who. Second question is, all right, depending on who it was. All right. Well, what do we want to do here? We want to bury this shit, or we want to, you want to turn yourself in,
So who? Okay, if I kill someone, in what situation am I turning myself in?
Well, I don't know. If you're asking for help, you got it. We're gonna find somewhere to put them. My first call is going to Bryce. I'm telling you that right now.
So we now have a mutual friend. This was your military friend there, Rod, and we're not so certain he's not. We actually had him on the show last episode, and I'm not entirely sure that he hasn't. He hasn't murdered someone. So Bryce would be a fantastic contact to have because the way he is as a person may be very helpful in that situation. That's good. That's good.
No, I've seen a lot of Dexter too. So between him and me, we'll figure out how to get it done, buddy.
So in some situations, being Aunt Sherry here, you're just gonna pretend like you don't hear it at all. So that's the exact moment you go deaf as a person. And you never hear anybody speak again for the rest of your life. If that's the role you're going to accept at that point, I mean, see, I don't know. I like it, Rod. If you're telling me that you killed someone, it would be tough not to have questions. But I feel like that's something we should figure out while we're burying the body, not so much before we're burying the body, because this thing's got to go one way or another. I would have to assume. Unless you want to publicly display it. In that case, it becomes a little more complicated, I think, than just trying to hide it.
Listen, if you told me you killed someone, I already know. We'd be burying the body and be like, Matt, what was it? Dude, I was having a rough week, man. Some guy cut me off and I just snapped. It just
So I do have a short fuse. If that's what you are trying to play on, I do in fact have a short fuse. Thank you for pointing that out. By the way, Mr. Locke here, much worse road rage than I have.
I don't believe it. No way.
Much worse. I mean, mostly that's because he doesn't know directions at all, and so he gets himself into situations that have to hate other people because he's cutting them off and shit like that. However, much worse road rage than what I have. But Tom, what about you? What are you doing in a dead body situation?
Well, you guys are shitty friends, so I've watched a lot of Dateline. I would know exactly what to do. I'd be like, where was your phone when this happened? Where was there any cameras around? Were you near something like a bank? We're going back. We're destroying evidence. We're in this together now. You've told me, and I 100% not going to turn you in. Well, it depends on who it is, but
yeah. See.
Rod, you're out as my best.
So you call me up and we're going to get this thing handled. We know you're going to lawyer up right away and be like, this is where I was. You were hanging out with me all night. Where was your phone? I don't know. Somebody stole it. Where was your car? Stolen too. The phone was in there. But don't worry. I got your back 100% because then I'd have to share with you like how many people I killed, and we're in it together.
I appreciate the lengths you would go through in order to save a friend's life, potentially.
What if you tell your friend that you killed someone and they're like, all right, they tell you exactly how to dispose of it, then you find out that they've actually killed like 15 people.
All right, calm down. Take a step back. I've been through this before.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
This is a real you situation.
Yeah.
By the way, another fantastic Netflix show.
Absolutely.
You, if you haven't watched it,
that's a good one too. Yep.
You need to.
New season coming out soon.
Not till like summertime, actually.
Yeah, really.
He's a good actor. The narration of that is
maybe that's just him.
It's so calm, but it's so psychotic that it's
right.
So there's actually a kid we went to high school with that looks like said character.
Absolutely.
And
how many girls has he killed?
yeah, I know. So Rod, what I'm gathering is there are more than one person. Like Bryce may not be the only person on this FBI blacklist that we need to pay attention to. Turns out Tommy and potentially our mutual high school friend who may also be on said list.
I probably have that list too. My sister just texted me and said, "What kind of psychopath are you to have that lengthy of an answer?" I get bored at work. I think about, hey, what would happen if I was driving home from work and
Maddie, we ain't got to worry about him. We're friends with him. See, that's why we keep him close, man.
That's a good point. That's a good point. We know all of these people, and if that's the only 3 people on the list, then we are definitely set for this situation.
When it comes to court time, be like it was all his idea. Like he did it. He killed him. I was just an accomplice. I couldn't get out of it. He said he'd kill me too. Gosh,
so
I really am a psychopath.
Unfortunately, at this point, we have to decide who to sacrifice. I think we know who it would be out of the 3 of you. Tommy, glad you can come on the show for the last time with us.
I didn't know this was leading into something. All right.
It's all recorded, motherfucker. We got
Shit.
All right. Let me ask one more question before we wrap it up for today. Tommy, you will be a part of our marathon episode whenever that happens. We will be beating DJ Sweat's time. However, that day may not be Sweat? Today. however. So Grammy chimes in. Fantastic. She has no comment on the subject. She's got the connects to be just burying bodies if I had to guess. Rod, not to put you on the spot here, but
means I'm close with the guy at the morgue, all right? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Signing the Hippocratic that's one way to look at it. Hey, Tom, you've got his number now. If you ever need it, save that number. Right. He will be in touch with the guy from the morgue. My last question for you guys. Yeah,
I think we're all getting put on a list after this episode.
You better fucking answer. Any one of you better answer. That's all I'm saying. My last question for you guys today. What would you do if you could hypnotize anyone just by looking at them? This may go hand in hand with the situation we just had. You guys are going to be burying bodies, and guess what? You're also going to take credit for a crime you didn't commit. Thank you, motherfuckers. Is there anything in particular? Are you robbing banks with this newfound power?
I think you got to start small. You got to see, test the water. See what's going on first, what you can get away with, and then for sure. By the end of it, you're robbing banks. You're
getting whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
how are you hypnotizing people? Are you just looking at them, or are you holding up that thing that goes back and forth every time?
It's called a pocket watch, first of all. If you don't fucking know what a pocket watch is.
You might be the only guy in Ohio who owns one of those right now.
I don't own one. That's not what I said. I do not own one.
Look at this hip ginger with his pocket watch.
Yeah, and his red pants.
Right?
My monocle comes in on Amazon Prime tomorrow.
Columbus Gold. Nobody told me about this Columbus Gold when I was in Columbus.
So I know nothing. I know nothing about. I know. Oh no, Tommy, is this true? Are you tickling buttholes?
Well,
I mean, good use of that power.
I said, has anybody ever seen the meme where it's like, what would you do if you were able to freeze time? Like, some guy comments, "Oh, if I was surrounded by enemies, I would freeze time, jerk them all off, and then unfreeze time. And while they were all, I would slice their throats." And somebody commented underneath that, it was like, "Well, why wouldn't you just slice their throats when you froze time?" He's like, "I had no time." Is this kind of a situation? Are you tickling buttholes? How are you tickling buttholes?
Tickling is probably a nicer way to put it. Like I appreciate you keeping it family friendly here on the show. So yeah, tickling's a nice word. Yeah, I tickle them. I tease them.
Oh, so for this week's
Oh, you're muted.
our whiskey click might actually go out to Tommy tickling buttholes with his hypnotizing.
Tickling or teasing? I'm teasing those.
You're teasing those. That's right. That's right. Oh, not to be mistaken.
I don't want to make them laugh.
That's a good one. Oh no. Some they're just having a bad day after this all of a sudden and they don't know why. They just don't know why. Let's wrap it up with Tommy teasing buttholes.
And boy, Tommy.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and wrap it up there for today. Which by the way, I do want to point this out while we're here. We do in fact still have last episode we had you on. You pointed out how to make, if I can find it here.
Oh yeah.
Our Wisconsin old fashioned. So I want to point that out and give a shout out to you in particular.
Oh,
so we I think we nailed it with the Wisconsin old fashioned. Right? Is that right? Are we doing this?
Quick story. So I had one of those Wisconsin old fashions here 3-4 weekends ago. Actually, I had 4 of them. I was puking all Saturday till about noon. And it was a bad deal. But they taste delicious. I won't have one for a while, but they are really good.
So,
also, my sister better buy me I Am the Horn t-shirt. She came up with the idea. Jenny, where's my t-shirt? I'm sitting over here waiting for a t-shirt.
So let's do this. I still owe a shirt to Mason, which I know, Rod, like if you know, it's been a long fucking time. I still owe Mason a t-shirt. Jenny, reach out to me. Give me your address. We'll get you an I Am the Horn t-shirt sent out to you. Tom, you're on your own. You got
Jenny sent that to me. You want the large in men's?
To this address here.
All right, so next t-shirt I want to see is Tommy tickling buttholes, and I don't care what image you have.
Tommy the Tickler.
Tommy the Tickler. Yeah, what is that one? If we could find a like a logo that's like this, we'll be sure to get that on there. The old Tommy the Tickler t-shirt. Tommy, we'll get you a Wisconsin old fashioned shirt as well. We'll get that coordinated. I need everybody's addresses. I
need to come see you guys. It's been a while.
By the way, they're opening up ballparks. We can go see a Cincinnati Reds game.
That's right, baby.
We'll go see a Cincinnati Reds game.
The old Chicago Brown Bears from the gusty town Chicago play my Bengals this year too. So keep that in mind.
In Chicago, we can make that happen.
In Chicago.
Well. Oh, so fun fact. A guy I work with, his nephew is Pat O'Donnell. So I do occasionally get free tickets. Like when they clinched 3 years ago when they played the Packers at home and beat them and clinched. I was first row on the north end zone. So maybe I'll have to see if I can pull some strings and see if Mr. Pat O'Donnell would be interested in being on the show.
Ooh,
that'd be cool. Oh, Tommy the Tickler coming in clutch, baby.
Hey, do what you got to do to make that happen.
I might have to tickle some buttholes, but I'll figure it out.
So let's wrap it up here for today. Tommy, glad we could have you on. Now, I think last episode you shouted out Jenny. Is there anybody new you want to shout out this time? You shouted out Steph too, I believe, who was or is still currently listening. We don't know.
Yep.
She's probably like, yeah, fuck you guys. I get it now. Is there anybody in particular this episode you want to shout out? Pat O'Donnell, maybe?
Pat O'Donnell for sure. Thank you for 3 tickets in the past. Everyone who gives me free streaming services, thank you guys. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's really all I got. You know, friends, family, miss everybody. Can't wait to get together soon.
Yes, we will definitely coordinate a trip. Rod, anybody in particular you would like to shout out for this episode?
Nope. Old Tommy the Tickler. Appreciate you coming on, man. It's always a
Thank
blast.
you guys. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
So my shout out is actually going to go to you, Rod. You got your wedding coming up here pretty soon.
Woo!
We've got the bachelor party coming up soon. So
Congrats.
after the bachelor party, you guys may not see Rod for the foreseeable future. He may in fact be dead. I don't know. However, looking forward to that, and you know we've got a couple episodes coming up leading to that. So again, congratulations to you, bud. And we will, as always, wrap up our show. How many cans you got over there, Chief? Go ahead and pull them all up. So let's hang on here. Let me get.
Take it away. I had bottles.
I didn't know this was a competition.
Let me, as always,
Bottles from last week.
as always, my friends. Cheers.
Cheers.